said, and also dig into some of the things that we've missed in technology, just to kind of set the stage here, because unlike other technologies where the gaming industry has missed it, this one I don't think we can miss and still be viable. And I'm going to cover that, and I'm then going to look at specific areas of applicability, touch on how AI can apply in those areas, the importance, and of course always with a line of sight and the thought towards how does data apply to this, because and this is the so I listened to Earl's ending. I was like, wow, that's just the perfect start. Yeah, AI is here now because of the massive amounts of data that Earl and his other players are collecting. Data is the reason we're doing it. But let's dig into it. So, we are in a very competitive industry, and it's driven by massive changes in technologies around robots and beacons and chatbots and locational services and app-centric entertainment. And at the center of all of that, every one of these new things, and when I say competitive, we're competing with other entertainment offers as well as within the industry itself. So, but when you look at robots and beacons and chatbots, and you say, and locational services, and you look at app-centric entertainment, and you say, well, what are they all doing? They're all making a massive amount of data. And all of our competitors, all the competing industries, everything that's out there in this world of technology are using this data to drive value. Their businesses are centered around the data, and they're using it through the power of AI. AI is the lens through which this data becomes useful. And just a little bit about me. I don't know if I need to go too much into this, Peter, but and everyone, but I just founded another company actually over a year ago called Quick Custom Intelligence. I have led teams to win 2 Smithsonian laureates in information technology. I have around 80 patents and now 4 books on analytics in gaming. So, so what the world is saying, and why are they saying it? And I think we can start with the need. If you're an industry that's not doing AI, the industry is at threat. And that's from Forbes. I just love this quote. I mean, I'm like, the whole industry stops without artificial intelligence because we won't be competitive. And just think about all the touch points that you have with a business, whether you're interacting with restaurant food service, whether you're interacting with a game, whether you're interacting with another person. Every point that you touch in your entertainment experience will be driven by data that comes through the lens of artificial intelligence. And unless we adopt it, the industry is at threat. So I just want, say, well, we'll get to it eventually, won't we? I just want to kind of go through some of the trends that we may have missed in the past. And I think this is an important reminder of us in the gaming space about just how maybe we're just not the best at getting on this new technology. I was working with some young developers, and I was talking about green screens, and they were like, "What's a green screen? Green screen?" And they were talking about how they could do these beautiful images. Well, in gaming, we still use green screens that look like this. This is technology, for those that don't know, that I think was made in the 80s, 70s, very early computers. I think they started out white and they invented green and mid 80s maybe, because it was easier to read the text. Gaming companies today are still running on, many of them, on systems that look like this. someone walks in with their modern iPhone and they're looking at it and they're going, wow, you know, I can swipe and touch and drill, and and it's got artificial intelligence to recognize my face when I bring my phone up to me, and it's doing all these incredible things. And that young person walks in and says, what's this? And where's the mouse? There's no mouse on this thing even. We missed this one. And it's 40 years, a 40-year miss. And today, I think it's making recruitment harder. And by the way, modern user interfaces worked. Modern user interfaces made a big difference. So look at what happened with mobile applications. Now, the number of applications that are out there is just exploding. And think about us as an organizer in the gaming industry. It's like, wow, most gaming organizations don't even have, many of them don't even have mobile applications, and they're certainly not integrated. And how many organizations can you say, oh, my mobile application does cashless, my mobile application is interactive in real time, my mobile application is my single point of service, it's like my butler that spans my whole business? Not many. In fact, I think it's only the real innovators that are doing that. And yet mobile apps are at the center of what we do in the world today. And we missed this one. We missed mobile apps in gaming. They're at best an add-on. At best an add-on. Maybe a lot of them look like a marketing platform. Some people have done a good job, right? You know, there's some that are out there. Okay, it's not everyone, but as an industry, we are not. You go into the industry and say which organizations are driven by their mobile app, and there are very few. It's only the absolute innovators that are doing it. Yet the world is driven with mobile apps. I mean, just think about cash. It's like cash. You walk into a casino and it's driven by folding pieces of paper that's put into gaming machines largely. Now there are exceptions, but when we go into almost any retail outlet, we're using credit cards, we're using cash payments, we're using cashless transactions. That's the way the world works. I think that the casino gaming may be the only industry left that uses cash. Now, Earl was talking about, he mentioned, casino industry is known for money laundering and all these other things. It's like, well, gosh, maybe it's time for us to move to cashless. Maybe. And by the way, in our industry, that's going to need artificial intelligence to monitor it. Because in our industry, we have a lot of different kinds of transactions. We missed the end of cash. And a central thing we've missed. The mobile wallet. How do we miss this one? Where people throughout the world are using mobile wallets for everything. And by the way, mobile wallets use artificial intelligence. And I'll talk a little bit more about some of the specifics around how artificial intelligence works here. But just think about this trend. A massive thing. Consumers take mobile payment methods with 27% of those in the 18 to 24 age having loaded a debit card into a mobile wallet or app to make purchases. It's coming. It's a fun fact, right? It's replacing credit cards. So we missed the move to credit cards and debit cards. Now there's a move to what we in the industry call cashless, right? And it's like, can we miss this one? How many big trends can we miss and really survive? All right. The single biggest thing that's happened in technology infrastructure, and it's a massive trend, is the cloud. And the cloud, by the way, is incredible. It's data collection, and the technologies that are in it can be run on-prem, they can be run hybrid, they can be run in the cloud. The cloud has become a statement for new technology platforms. And how many gaming systems companies are saying, we're a new technology platform? Not many. They're running on hardware with operating systems. I mean, if you want to run an application in a cloud environment, that's all abstracted, right? You know, it's like we missed this one. We're so far. This is just incredible. The amount of technology and innovation that's happening in the world of high tech is staggering. The cloud, which can be on-prem, it can be hybrid, it can be completely in the cloud. It doesn't describe exactly, it doesn't contain how it's delivered, but it's fast, it's dynamic, it's full of AI. All the AI that's in the cloud, all the services are available, are just staggering. And you can plug data in, you can plug in artificial intelligence with the right level of expertise. The industry has missed this move. There's only one or two organizations that I know of that are saying we're a cloud-based organization. And when and in gaming, that means you have to also be able to deploy the cloud locally, because it's a regulatory requirement in many areas. But we missed it, and they are just incredible. The Disneyland experience, I don't know if you've, my children still occasionally like to go to Disneyland. There's a little bracelet and other things that the people have as people walk around. The whole 360-degree experience of interacting with a dynamic IoT device, of every touch point becoming something that you can really make use of. That whole experience, the Disneyland experience, which you would think is a natural fit for a gaming resort, doesn't, we missed it. Most organizations in gaming haven't even put their point of sale data together, or their hotel data together with their gaming data. Mostly it's separate. We haven't even got the data together. We can't get this unified experience. We've talked about it. We missed this trend. And then we go to AI. It's like, you know, how do we miss this one? So, sorry, not AI, venture capital. So this is my favorite one that we missed. So venture capital has completely transformed technology. Yet in gaming, when we look at it, VCs, we don't have VCs in gaming. They're investing in bricks and mortar, but where are the technology VCs in gaming? Where are the companies that are driven by venture capital and investment in tech to really change the way we do things? I think we missed this one. And this is a fundamental problem, that the industry's technology is often driven by one-offs, or people who are seed funded by some friends, or people with very limited capital. On the other side, the systems providers, the actual providers of the things that should be on the latest platform, are slot machine manufacturers. Gaming machine manufacturers are the primary system developers in the industry. Like in any other industry, the venture capital community has transformed the technology, and the technology has become the centerpiece of how they operate. And without capital, nothing happens. So here's some trends. We missed modern user interfaces. We're still using green screens. We missed mobile applications. We missed the end of cash. We missed the cloud. We missed the Disneyland experience. We missed venture capital. Why do we miss these things? And what do we need to stop? What do we need to change? Do we need to change? Is it acceptable that we miss artificial intelligence? And I don't think so. Artificial intelligence becomes replaces completely the whole interaction of how humans touch technology, because everything produces data. Data becomes the center of what we do. And that data is in such enormous volumes and such incredible complexity that we can't decipher it and interact with it as humans. There's too much going on. So artificial intelligence becomes this wonderful gateway, these levers that we can pull, where we talk with intelligent agents that handle how we run the business, that handle how we detect fraud, that handle, and I'll get to a bunch of use cases in a minute, that handle how the customer experiences their entertainment journey. So let's just talk a little bit about artificial intelligence. You know, really, what is artificial intelligence? Okay. And I'll go back. I'll go back to where it starts, because there are different pieces to artificial intelligence. And the first is a very broad definition of what it is. And the second I need to touch on is machine learning, and how machine learning fits into what is artificial intelligence. So if you just give me it's going to take a minute here. Artificial intelligence originally, and I studied this in graduate school. It was my primary study. Was always around doing things that would normally require a human, or doing things that fall outside the logic of traditional algorithms with traditional logic statements like if this then that, things that are fuzzy. And the really big things that are happening, and things that you've probably touched on, are things like visual perception and speech recognition, decision making, translation between languages. Today, these have been driven by a specialized part of artificial intelligence called machine learning. And machine learning is where we use artificial neural networks to simulate the human mind to drive algorithms that are better than a human can design. And the remarkable thing about machine learning algorithms is that what you do to make them is you get an enormous amount of data with a known and useful outcome. And then you train the neural network, much like you would train a dog or an animal, or a way that a human would learn. You would train the neural network to solve the problem, knowing what the output is. And there are other kinds of neural network, but this is broadly speaking. You get a vast amount of data and you apply it to a neural network. And then the neural network learns how to interpret and understand the data in a very deep and perceptive way, much like a hyper-powered human could with all of that data. So machine learning goes hand in hand with data, and in the last, I guess, 6 years, and it's only the last 6 years, visual perception, speech recognition, decision making have all come to play through this technique of taking massive amounts of data and applying machine learning to it. So it's absolutely driven by the volume and nature of data. And that is at the center of what is artificial intelligence. So just think about, as a decision maker, what you're doing. As a decision maker, we are challenged to make more decisions. We're dealing with more complexity. We're dealing with more data, and we're dealing with things more in real time. And the last one is really critical. 71% of decision makers need to make the data more current. Most systems are doing daily summaries They're doing things about yesterday. And yet when I'm interacting with my gaming operation, when I'm walking around the facility, I need an interaction in real time. I need to be able to see, uh, I need to be able to see uh, uh, exactly what is happening on the floor in real time. And I have a question here. There was a question, I didn't see it, I came in earlier. Talking about mobile devices. When you walk in with your mobile device and you're playing mobile gaming, then you want to check into the hotel. Is that on that same app? When you want to go to the gaming machine and put cashless on it, is that on that same app? Is the mobile experience fragmented? Yes, there are point solutions, but and mobile gaming, of course, mobile gaming is huge, but it's not a part of the overall entertainment experience. And I must admit, I have a bias towards bricks and mortar casinos. It's my main experience. I don't think so much about online. I've done quite a lot of work in online space, but I don't think so much about that. I'm thinking more about the bricks and mortar space than the online space. Now, it doesn't mean it's not applicable, and I hope that answers the question, Jacob. So the trend is more data, a hastened pace of decision making, and dramatically increased complexity. So there's the amount of data here is just staggering. We've moved from in the early in the century, this age of transactions, where the finest grain of data was something like a person a person checking in and checking out of a hotel on their hotel folio, to as they walk around in the hotel, everything they do and touch, they're interacting with social media, they're communicating with their friends, they're searching websites, they're ordering DoorDash into their hotel room. So this movement from a world of the transaction, the financial transaction is the finest grain of data, to the one where every touch of data is critical. In the world of gaming, the gaming data specifically, in a bricks and mortar casino, and we are only seeing data from when the card is removed from the gaming machine. We're not seeing all of the interactions of all the different games in the middle. The detail of data is being lost in the gaming world. That detailed data is critical to understanding and driving change. And it's organizations, I guess, Earl might know some organizations that are able to collect the finer grain data that allows us to move the industry into this zettabyte age and be competitive. And it's artificial intelligence together with this data that makes it useful. Let's talk about some of the specific areas of applicability. So machine learning is absolutely at the center of artificial intelligence. So whether it's a robot that responds directly and to a message that you send in, whether it's something that an artificial intelligence that's recognizing bad actors walking around on the floor, whether it's a tool that can determine the right yield for your table games. Machine learning is a complete replacement for the mathematics and the analysis of how we run the gaming organization. When you look at e-commerce and you want to buy a new pair of sunglasses, or you interact with it in some way, machine learning is doing continuous analysis based on all the data about your purchase history and what you want to do next. In customer service, in customer service, there are just not enough people. There's a huge labor shortage in North America that we're grappling with. And automation and artificial intelligence can completely, firstly, optimize how we interact with the organization, because they also give a much more seamless interaction. These agents, these artificial intelligence, these customer service points need all of the data put together. Then they apply artificial intelligence to give the user a seamless experience across the business. And if you think about, I walk up to a gaming machine. I want to go into a hotel. I want to go into a restaurant. Any time I go and I think, oh, there's a line I have to wait in. That could be completely replaced with chatbots, which are driven by artificial intelligence, and I can hold my place in line. I can have a real-time interaction. It's driven by the data, and it's optimized by the operator to be able to provide the right kind of waiting experience, where I no longer have to stand in line waiting for something. I can be doing what I want to do. I can walk around. I can go outside and look at the sky if I want. I can do anything I want, because the artificial intelligence, the chatbot, the management of the queues is all handled through data and artificial intelligence. And so what's the impact going to be? So we look at companies like Netflix, who literally just came along and turned the entire industry on its head. And the question in gaming, who will be the Netflix of gaming? Who will be the company that figures out how to take massive amounts of data and transform the gaming experience? So let's look at some specific examples. So predictive models in the past were based on simple math. Now we have all the detailed data. We can look at a marketing program and can say, before we even run this program, we know how much money we're going to make. And then after we run it, we can use artificial intelligence to fine tune it, so the next time we run it, we're even better at it. It becomes the driver of how we do marketing. Every customer interaction, I never have to wait on a call. When I call, there are automated services now where an artificial intelligence can use deep neural networks and deep machine learning algorithms to take the call, and a human can't detect that it's a robot even. It's incredible. So you can have this never wait philosophy, where customer interactions, they can interact with a chatbot, they can interact on social media. It's all in real time. You never have to wait. It's driven and coordinated from all this massive amount of data, right up through this lens of artificial intelligence. In a gaming facility, you need to know where everything is in real time. And right now, if I walk around in a shopping mall outside, or if I get into my car and drive anywhere, there's a number of choices about which GPS service I can use to find the way. I walk inside a building, there's no locational services. Artificial intelligence can give locational knowledge inside the facility, and it changes everything. A lot of the times these are massive facilities. I need to know how to get from point A to point B, and yet you can't do that unless you know where things are. Artificial intelligence is the enabler, as it allows all the detailed data about of movements and traffic flows and people to become useful inside the facility, so I can optimize and change how location drives locational services rather than randomly looking at or looking at some kind of output for the end of the month or the quarter on the number of units used in an area and trying to yield it back to that. And robots become part of the service offering in an entertainment facility. With marketing, everything gets smarter through the use of detailed data and leveraging artificial intelligence. Everything you do can be predicted and then measured against that prediction. And without that prediction, you've got nothing to measure it against. So the operators that adopt this, the operators that move to a world where they're predicting the outcomes of their marketing events using machine learning and then measuring themselves against them, get massive changes and massive benefits in their marketing and their interactions with customers. So what can we do? And that maybe we need to encourage more capital in the industry. Maybe we need pioneers and innovators who are willing to bring about this new technology to provide an integrated solution. Maybe we need people who can say, you know, it's not enough to have like just an online gaming experience. We need to have a unified gaming experience. And by the way, it needs to be an entertainment experience that hooks up with every point of interaction with that customer wants to touch the business. And innovators and pioneers and people are want to do it. Maybe we can help them get capital. So the next thing is this data interfaces. I've almost given up on this actually. You know, it's like we need detailed real-time data. We're here. You know, the gaming standards in our organization can really make a big difference here. That the way that we get data needs to work. It needs to be practical, and the systems vendors need to do it. Maybe the only way it's going to happen is if it's regulated that it has to happen. And it doesn't mean just sort of compliance. It means in a useful, effective way. And so it's a little bit of further reading here, and I'll just summarize a little bit. You know, that artificial intelligence is the biggest trend in the world today, and it goes hand in hand with the absolutely enormous amounts of data that we're collecting. So when we have a massive volume of data, artificial intelligence is the key to turning it into value and interaction. And when we say massive volume does not just mean finer and finer grain of information about the play patterns of my customers. It also means the 10 different systems that people interact with. It means the social media data. It means the movement data. It means all the different point of sales and purchasing data. And then it comes over directly into the interaction of how we interact with businesses and how we interact between each other, because artificial intelligence becomes our business partner in all the communication that we're doing with an organization, whether it's an automated chatbot, whether it's an agent that's looking for alerts and suggesting things to do, whether it's monitoring for fraud in real time and detecting it and bringing it up, and then taking action in response to it. But artificial intelligence is fitting together with big data to drive this, and it's become, you know, AI is now ubiquitous across the world. It's everywhere. It's a standard. It's a standard that is bringing about enormous level of change. So when we think of artificial intelligence, it's not a technology. It's an entire industry. It's an entire world. It's everything that's happening today in the world. You know, if you go, it's hard to find an area of technology that doesn't have a massive artificial intelligence component. And we in gaming need to adopt it. I don't think we can miss this trend and be viable in 10 years. And I think about things like the green screen, which is kind of a bit of a joke, and we missed that trend by 40 years. So this is not one we can miss.